Indiana Fever put to Asia Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces. Good God. That's for Caitlin Clark. That's for the fans. That's for voting Caitlin Clark ninth as the ninth best guard in the league. That's for the fans again. That's for thinking you was going to come to Indiana and win today. That's for the 16 times you beat us before. That's for the game we blew in Vegas. The Indiana Fever put belt to ass on the Las Vegas Aces. Oh my God, I got to wear the belt.
What happens in Vegas is supposed to stay in Vegas. But not when the Indiana Fever turned the spotlight into a roasting session on national TV. Aya Wilson and Chelsea Gray walked in looking like confident queens, and walked out looking like contestants who just slipped off the big red balls on Wipeout. Social media? Absolutely unhinged. Did they underestimate the Fever? Did the game plan vanish like casino chips at 3 a.m.? Or did Indiana simply serve up a 5-star slice of humble pie? Either way, what went down wasn't just a loss, it was a full-blown Vegas plot twist. The meltdown was louder than a jackpot siren and messier than a buffet after midnight. Buckle up, because this one's got the internet talking.
To tell you, the Indiana Fever just put belt to ass, bruh, to the Las Vegas Aces, dog. Smash that like button for your boy, man. It is up and it's stuck, dog. I just gotta keep it real, dog. What the Indiana Fever displayed today was simply amazing, bruh. I just gotta be honest on so many levels. Excellent display of basketball. Guys, just lights out, bro. Lights out. Another big time win without Caitlin Clark. And I'm just lost for words, bro.
If you're rocking with the content, hit that subscribe button. It helps way more than you think. Because after that disaster, Aya Wilson might want to book a team-wide exorcism. Whatever possessed the Las Vegas Aces that night needs to be identified, confronted, and permanently escorted out of the arena. This is the same squad that used to strike fear into the league, the defending powerhouse, the team nobody wanted to see on the schedule. Now, they looked like they were tripping over invisible shoelaces and handing out turnovers like complimentary drink vouchers on the strip. It wasn't just a loss. It was a live demonstration of how to unravel under bright lights. Missed rotations, sloppy passes, zero rhythm. They didn't get beat, they self-destructed. And the scary part? It all happened in real time on national TV with the whole basketball world watching.
For more perspective, we bring in WNBA analyst Carolyn Peck. And Carolyn, you were at that game just now. Look, the Fever have been on a tear. They've won 2 in a row, a 25-point blowout of the Lynx in the Commissioner's Cup final, and then 27 against the Aces in this one. And both of those games without Caitlin Clark. How is Indiana getting this done right now?
Look, I think that Indiana is even more dangerous when Caitlin Clark doesn't play because she's a ball-dominant guard. The ball's in her hands a lot, so you know what you need to try to take away. But when you look at Indiana now, they've got so many weapons. And Kelsey Mitchell is playing out of her mind. Aaliyah Boston. I talked to Stephanie White before the game. She said in year 1, Aaliyah Boston was back to the basket.
This wasn't just a bad night. This was the entire office catching fire while someone accidentally forwarded the group chat screenshots to the boss. Total chaos. No hiding. No damage control. The Las Vegas Aces didn't just get outplayed, they got completely exposed. And the wild part? It came at the hands of the Indiana Fever, a squad people were dismissing as just Caitlin Clark and the background dancers. Well, those so-called background dancers showed up in full surround sound. The Fever came prepared, locked in, and hit the gas from the opening tip. What used to be a franchise dripping with dominance suddenly looked rattled, reactive, and a step behind. This wasn't luck. It wasn't a fluke. It was a statement. Indiana didn't just win, they steamrolled a powerhouse and left the basketball world blinking at the scoreboard.
Coach, I asked Asia this as well, but what do you even say to your team after a showing like this one? I'd imagine, like I know you believe that your team is kind of better than what you saw on the court tonight. What do you say after something like this?
There's not a whole lot to say. That's a complete lack of professionalism to come in here with that effort. Complete lack of focus. They played harder yesterday in practice by a lot. Wasn't even close. So I don't know how you step onto the floor with 20,000 people in the stands and perform like that.
And here's the twist. Caitlin Clark was on the sidelines looking like a proud mom at a school recital, watching her squad handle business against the neighborhood bullies for once. Calm, smiling, zero stress. Meanwhile, Aya Wilson, Chelsea Gray, and Kelsey Plum looked like they were running through wet cement. No burst, no swagger, no trace of that trademark Las Vegas Aces fire. The defense? Missing in action. The offense? Like trying to spark a flame with soaking wet matches. Their rhythm was so off it felt like they were conducting a symphony in reverse. No tempo, no harmony, just chaos. Possession after possession turned into clangs off the rim and wide-eyed stares at each other like, wait, what just happened? Honestly, the only thing consistent all night was the confusion written across their faces.
What a game! The Indiana Fever was flat out dominant today. Dominant from start to finish. From start to finish, it was dominance. Beat down. That's you Uncle Willie's son. Yeah, that's what it was today. The Indiana Fever blow out the Las Vegas Aces by nearly 30 points. They win by a final score of 81-54. That is how you stand on business.
And that scoreboard? Yikes. You almost had to squint at it like, is that thing glitching? Or did the Las Vegas Aces really just post one of their lowest totals ever? Not just low for this season, historically low. That's not a bad night. That's burn the tape and never speak of it again territory. If this were a movie, it'd be a straight-to-DVD horror flick called The Disappearance of the Las Vegas Offense. Aya Wilson, once a walking bucket with a side of domination, suddenly looked rattled like someone who just remembered they left the oven on at home. The rhythm? Gone. The aura? Missing. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever weren't just winning, they were gliding through the chaos. It felt like watching the younger sibling finally win after years of getting dunked on in the driveway. They played with a new kind of confidence. The kind that says, we're not here to be extras in your highlight reel anymore. We're building our own. And the wildest part? Caitlin Clark didn't even have to put on a cape. She sat there cool, calm, metaphorically sipping tea while her teammates dismantled the so-called dynasty in real time. That wasn't just a win. That was a message.
Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston led the scoring, 25 and 20 points respectively. Natasha Howard followed up her Commissioner's Cup MVP performance by scoring 11 and grabbing 10 boards for another double-double. Caitlin Clark, who has now missed 4 games in a row, has seen her teammates respond by winning 3 of the last 4 games. And over that span, the Fever have averaged 81 points per game and giving up only 71 points per game. The Fever are now a game above 500 at 9-8 with momentum and a long homestand. Fever head coach Stephanie White has stated they will not rush Clark's return as she does not want this injury to linger and come back.
And let's talk about that dynasty for a second. The Las Vegas Aces walked into this season dripping with glitz, glamour, and the confidence of a squad that thought their biggest threat was boredom. Now, they're looking up at the standings and seeing the Indiana Fever above them. Yes, you read that right. The rebuilding, maybe next year, Fever sitting ahead of the reigning powerhouse. That's not a simple plot twist. That's a Shakespearean tragedy wrapped inside a blooper reel. This was supposed to be a three-peat chase. Instead, it's turned into a full-blown identity crisis. What happened to the defensive juggernaut reputation? Where did the easy transition buckets disappear to? Why does every half-court set look like they're trying to solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded? Possession after possession, hesitation, forced shots, stunned silence, head shakes like they're watching something go wrong in real time and can't stop it. Meanwhile, across the court, the Fever played like they'd circled this game on the calendar for years. With Caitlin Clark on the bench looking like a proud CEO watching her startup hit IPO status, the rest of the squad balled out with hunger and edge. They weren't just playing to win. They were playing to prove something. And in that moment, they absolutely did.
I want you to look me in the face, right in the eyes. The Indiana Fever are arriving right on schedule, right on time. Caitlin Clark not in the lineup, handling the business anyway. The Indiana Fever put belt to ass on the Las Vegas Aces. Don't go to Indiana, some shit might go down, was once said by A'ja Wilson. And she was correct. This was a beat 'em down. The Aces held to a grand total of 54 points as the defense carries over from the Commissioner's Cup game, and the Indiana Fever have the league spooked.